Now, representatives from across the globe are in Germany as we speak for this year's Munich Security Conference. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is representing Pakistan at the meet. In an exclusive conversation with WION, the minister talks about the conference, the war in Ukraine, and regarding Pakistan's participation in the upcoming SCO meet in India. Listen in.
How would you like to sum up the Munich Security Conference engagements? Because you've had meetings with the Chinese side, you've had meetings with Saudi, and perhaps the most interesting one was the meeting with Ukrainian Foreign Minister, because that is a departure from the previous government's policy. So how would you like to sum that up?
So first of all, Munich is a very important conference, security conference. So it's a security conference. So the entire world's sort of foreign ministry apparatus is here, and we are absolutely engaging with everyone from the east to the west. And I've had 2 days of back-to-back bilateral meetings. Tomorrow we have some more, and we also have some speaking engagements. There was just a discussion on Afghanistan that we were a part of. As far as our meetings with various of my counterparts are concerned, you mentioned the Foreign Minister of Ukraine. I think that would be a continuation of the last government's policy, or of sort of both of our government's policy of neutrality. If you are neutral in the true sense, then you engage with all sides. Message to all sides is the same, that Pakistan believes that an extended conflict is not in the interest, particularly of the developing world. We would like to see a cessation of hostilities and dialogue and diplomacy deployed in the pursuit of peace. That is my message when I speak to the Russians. That is my message when I speak to the Europeans, and that is my message when I speak to the Ukrainian Foreign Minister.
You mentioned that is your message when you spoke to the Russians as well. The last time when you were here, you particularly made a mention when it came to the Russia-Ukraine conflict as a war. When you were here in Germany in October, precisely the October 6th, in that very press conference. Now, while you were in Russia,
I feel like this is the nitpicking that goes on. Well, too much nitpicking. You call it a conflict, you call it a war. People are dying on both sides. We in Pakistan have just experienced firsthand the longest ever, the forever war, which NATO was also involved in Afghanistan. And we've lived with the consequences of that. We've seen how ultimately, no matter what all sides thought, that ultimately the solution was dialogue and diplomacy. If they had to have that dialogue, they had to have that diplomacy, they had to have this negotiated settlement, then perhaps it would have been better to take the Taliban up on their offer in 2002 when they were ready to surrender and negotiate, and that didn't take place. We went and did that now recently, and we've all seen the consequences.
Last question before I let you go. You were in Russia recently. Did you advocate for this very solution of neutrality and cessation of hostilities? Because Russia has a very different stance, and SCO is coming up in India. Would you be going?
So there too. I not only in my discussions with my counterpart, Foreign Minister Lavrov, but also in my press conference, I mentioned how Pakistan and the developing world are suffering from conflict. We in the form of food insecurity, energy insecurity, inflation, and economic consequences. We're all suffering, and we did call for dialogue and diplomacy. And I mentioned the same thing with the Ukrainian Foreign Minister, but unfortunately at this point in time it doesn't seem that anybody is truly ready to pursue that path.
SCO, would you be going?
The SCO invitation has been received. As you are aware, the SCO is a very important organization of which Pakistan is also a part of. It has very clear rules that at the SCO we don't take up bilateral issues and bilateral disputes at this forum. But as far as our decision to attend, at what level, if we are to attend, at what level to attend, etc., those decisions are still ongoing. The process to make those decisions are still ongoing.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.